The return of them is near, and I sense a turn of tides is upon us, and with it comes a whole lot of cool, but also a big splash of meh, at least for now. That being said, I decided to separate said cool from meh, and will focus solely on the turn of tides update this time around. Our heart now belongs to the sea, but have we given our love to the wrong gal? We'll get into that, but for now, know that all things nautical now come from the Think Tank, a new science craftable that takes 4 boards to make, and it unlocks a new crafting section, Seafaring, and within it you will find 7 new recipes waiting for you, so let's break them down. First up, we have the boat kit, which uses the same amount of boards to create as the thing we needed to create in order to create the boat kit, but so have you. Find yourself a new and maybe improved edge of the world, and you'll soon be seeing just how massive this quote-unquote boat is. Honestly, I think we'd prefer to call it a bloody floating platform more than a boat, but give it a launch and you'll discover some new edge of world animations as well, with your character being able to leap back and forth between the boat and the land. At this time, it truly is just a worthless floating platform of wood, so we must need some accessories. Like an oar, another easy to craft thing to come out of all this. It has 500 uses currently, but holy crap is this item so small. Seriously, WX's head is bigger than this thing, and we're expected to propel that massive wooden thing with this? I think a model redesign may be in order here, but hey, it works, and there is a timing to it if you wish to get the most out of rowing. It's pretty simple to master, as just avoiding any urge to just spam click as fast as you can is all it takes. But if you are a maniac like me, your wetness will jump 9 times each time you mess up the timings, so watch yourself. But why do it all yourself? Just build a mast using even more boards, some rope, and the sticky white stuff, then place it anywhere you wish on your boat. Hoist her up and let us set sail. Or not. Because without a steering wheel, you are at the mercy of the quote-unquote wind, and you'll soon be saying bye-bye to any dreams of being a robo-pirate. So it's really important to create one before you begin your wave-crashing adventures, as only then will you be able to set a heading and then gain semi-control over where you sail. I say semi because the whole thing is finicky and honestly pretty disappointing, as Shipwrecked already nailed what nautical navigation in Don't Starve should be, and kept it simple and clean while doing so. Why Clay even chose to even give this system a try is honestly beyond me, but I for one would like a later tweak or just a straight up change to how sailing works in the superior Don't Starve Shipwrecked. And since it's as terrible as it is currently, chances are that boat patches will be saving your booty a few times over. And can I just say, thanks for giving stingers more of a use there, buds. And, at least for now, having said boat patches do God's work, as they will fix up small leaks and big leaks all the same, without requiring any more of a hassle. Cause gosh dang man, it seems like if you even just sneeze wrong, your boat springs a leak, so best be prepared. Especially since our current boat only has 200 health and or durability to boot. But to hopefully stop ourselves from running into the on-the-water catastrophes there, we can build an anchor kit to bring along as well. So smash together some more boards, rope, and even cut stone this time. Then, the anchor kit is going to work exactly as you'd imagine, and it should. Drop it down to avoid collision and stop your vessel right in its path. It does and will take a bit of time to fully deploy, so do keep that in mind while doing so. But having an anchor is, and I'm sure will be, a must once sea navigation truly begins. And finally, we have the anchor figure sketch at the ready for your decorative pleasures. I for one don't really often use sculptures, but I'm quite the fan when it comes to how intricate they are getting lately. So if you want to commemorate your life as a pirate, then by all means, enjoy yourselves. But here is something I don't enjoy. The new updates to the oceans and the mechanics that come with that have butchered world generation, at least on a fundamental level, I believe. For one, the map looks especially ugly now, but just look at this here. Yes, I know it's the mosaic biome, so of course it'll appear to have a hodgepodge of environments, but that was always the case. Now, with the new water biomes being a thing, we have bodies of water forming within land, rendering them landlocked for literally no reason. I mean, come on now. There are 13 spots here alone that serve no purpose, and that could have been more land to spawn resources, potential set pieces, more mobs, and just whatever wasn't water really. And no, it ain't just occurring in mosaics alone either, so there's no excuse there. Heck man, I don't even know what I'm looking at here, but I know that I don't like it. Of course, every world generation is different, so I'm not going to argue against the possibility of a properly laid out landscape being a thing, but that is not the point. Again, the fundamentals of land branches can now be broken as water can spawn landlocked, perhaps even preventing navigation on a branch itself in some cases. The new edges make little sense as a proper launching of a boat may only be available on a select branch or two, and that just eliminates player choice and is simply just tiresome, as access to the ocean should literally not be constrained by the frickin' ocean itself. Water being its own biome now also allows it to stretch, shrink, and manipulate the land, resulting in oddly generated terrain that can easily prevent proper spawning of resources, set pieces, and the like, as said prior. But hey now, I know it's a beta, and things will change, but this is one of those things that doesn't change alone though. Clay needs to rework world generation itself, both branch and loop mechanics, before even tweaking how water generates. And this could be a problem. A rather big problem. But what is even out on the water to begin with anyways? Well, there is bull kelp that very much resembles seaweed and can be picked while on the boat. And if you weave 12 of them together, you can create the newest clothing item, the sea wreath. It serves no other purpose apart from draining your sanity by 1.2 or so per minute. So I really don't see the purpose apart from giving a purpose to something that really shouldn't have a purpose. There are formations called sea stacks that currently cannot be mined, cannot be hammered, cannot be punched or smacked by your meat in any way, or even blown up. You know, now that I think of it, it probably wasn't the smartest thing to set off an explosive on the only thing keeping me from a watery grave, but hey, at least we now know that we can't damage our own boats via gunpowder. There are pieces of driftwood that ride the waves, or lack thereof rather, and as we stand now, it appears they do bugger all, but I imagine we will be able to sell them to the fat man himself at a later time, or perhaps even use them in crafting better boats, or hey, even potential add-ons for existing boats. Oh, and then there's puffins, the new birdies of the world. Currently they serve nothing beyond being the cutest of the winged beasts, but they do seem to drop a guaranteed jet feather when killed, and a guaranteed morsel when murdered in your inventory, so there you go. I fully understand and realize it's a beta, and things are obviously subject to change, but even still I find myself thoroughly disappointed if I'm being honest. Perhaps concerned is the proper term here, as we didn't even get the basics, like deep sea waves. We can't even fish in the oceans yet, and we don't actually have functioning wind mechanics for sailing, even though we have things for sailing. I'm not saying Clay needed to flesh it all out for the first beta. Not at all. I didn't even expect them to. But just a little bit of everything would have gone a hell of a long way. Just put in some waves, not a bunch. Let us fish for maybe 1 or 2 new creatures, not 5 to 10. Allow us to learn some new navigation mechanics before just dropping us into everything come the full release. What we got was an out-of-place boat with finicky controls that allows us to experience next to nothing on the waters, even though this update is supposed to be all about that experience. It will see alterations. I know that. I get that. But just like the world generation issue, these kind of also fall under the fundamental problems category, and if we're not testing fundamental problems, what's the point of a beta? Some final notes before we set sail into the sunset. If a ship goes down, you go down with the ship. Once their ability falls to 0, you will see and hear your boat begin to break apart. And after just a couple seconds, the platform will completely shatter, sending you down to Davy Jones's locker. Unless you're playing a mode outside of survival, this does mean game over for you, just like it would do in Shipwrecked. So be very, very careful out at sea, folks. However, there is a lovely and hysterically awesome way to prevent that from happening. If you get into a precarious situation again while pirating around, you can extend the built-in plank on your vessel and then go ahead and walk said plank like the scallywag you are, and before your ship even sinks, abandon it. Doing so will not kill you, but rather teleport you to the florid postern, or the portal as it were. You aren't unharmed, however. You are soaked to the bone at 100 wetness, so that's gonna be an issue, but at least you're not dead. You can build just about anything you wish to fit on a boat platform, so sea basing or even sea combat with what known as catapults is already a possibility, but let's just hope they get fleshed out some more soon. Oh, then there's the flare. A new survival craft that can be lit, fired off, and then seen on the map via its special animated icon. It lasts for about 12 to 15 seconds, and it's supposed to act like a beacon for others to locate your position, but there are already mods that do that for you and do it better along the way. Plus, if people really can't type out where they are and coordinate positions already, then that's a problem in and of itself. Flares are an utterly useless new addition, but let's hope they will serve a bigger purpose down the line. But there you have it, everyone. A video centered on the not-so-charming as-of-yet additions that have come in the Turn of Tides beta, at least for now. Personally, I feel like a lot more needs to be done before we can even think about launching these new mechanics in full, but at least the foundations for something new and potentially exciting is there. But Clay, look to Shipwrecked for the answers, and everything else will fall into place. Thanks for watching, everyone. Well wishes to all. I hope your boats stay afloat, and I'll see ya come the return of them soon enough. Bye-bye.